tell her, and he told me.
Hello. Hello, Dr. K.
That I would love, that I knew from high school, that I would love to be in business with or partner up. And, you know, I thought about you because you're so outgoing, you're energetic, you're entrepreneur, whatever characteristics you put down on him. And I know that your girls are about to.
Hello, Miss Pamela.
Hello.
I just unmuted you, Dr. K, because I could hear some noise. Are you good? Okay. I'm going to eat a little bit because I didn't get to.
Because food is important, right? Nourishment is important.
Nutrition. Yes.
Well, that's good.
All
right.
Finger food is even better. I like finger food.
There we go. Just get my things set up here. Terrific. Dr. K, did you enjoy this last week?
Oh.
Very much so? Good. I read his lips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm glad.
I'm going to mute while I munch, and we'll just wait for people.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, and I'm working on a page on the website, on the masters of last week's recording, so I'll get that up, and then we'll have this week's recording.
Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it. Have you heard from Tommy down in the land down under?
A little bit.
Yeah, is he doing well?
I think so.
Good.
You know, he lost his billfold.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How did that happen? He found it?
Left it on the plane, I guess. But they found it, so.
Was everything intact?
I don't know. I didn't hear the rest of the story.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'll have to check. Have to check on that.
He can't go anywhere without Denise.
It's so true. Last time, I went along, I think, for that reason.
You got to go to Australia? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, no, I went last year.
Oh,
it was a blast.
I haven't been down there. I lived in Hong Kong and I did the whole Singapore and all that good stuff, but I had not made it to Australia and New Zealand. My parents have been, but I hadn't been.
It's gorgeous, yeah. We didn't do we did Australia, we didn't do New Zealand, so next year we're going to go down and do New Zealand.
Yeah, they were big into the Lord of the Rings stuff, so they love that. So they went through that whole traveling scenario for that. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm going to work on this web page real quick.
Okay, go eat. Was James excited to win? Yeah. Good. His dad's doing okay? Yeah. Lanny! Hello, sweet Lanny. She must be eating too. She always ducks below the screen when she's having dinner.
I'm looking for my book.
Uh-oh. You better find it, girlfriend.
I'll find it. No biggie.
Welcome, Caitlin. We'll be getting started in a couple minutes.
Marianne?
Caitlin, do you need some help, honey? You
Oh,
have to yeah.
I was needing some help finding the recording from last week. I couldn't find it in the 65 and Wake Up.
Yeah, Marianne is in the process of setting it up on Masters of Enrollment. So she's creating a separate area for it. So it will be up soon.
Oh, okay.
She's working on it. Yeah.
Okay. I just thought I couldn't find it. I was like, I can't find it.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is I can post a link in the 65 and a Wake Up so that you can go right there.
Okay. Awesome.
Welcome, Nancy, and welcome, Cindy. I see you there. Are you driving? Uh-oh, Cindy froze. Are you working, honey?
No, I'm not home yet.
You're just on your way home?
Huh? Almost. What? Yeah, cables. Oh, there's just one there.
And there's Vernell. Welcome, welcome.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and we'll just get started, and people can jump in as they get here.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Girlfriend.
All right, great. All right, so we're covering Eric. And today we're going to cover chapters 2 and 3. I wanted to do these in a couple chapters in a row until we get to the skills. Once we get to the skills, we'll focus on those chapters individually because I still really want you guys to interact, to be a part of this, to jump in, but more so even when we get to the skills so that we know that you're getting this, that you can ask questions and we can kind of talk about different scenarios that will come up as you're going through this process. So chapter 2, if you're going to be involved in network marketing, decide to be a professional, decide to go pro. And Eric Worre tells us that there are 3 categories of people in network marketing, and he's seen them all and he's been them all. And I think that we all can say the same thing, that we've been there, done that. So let's go through. The 3 are the posers, the amateurs, and the professionals. And so we may go in and out of these as we kind of go through our process. And we talk with Tom Chenault as we go through 65 and a Wake Up with the growth that we do there and the activities we do on a daily basis. And there are times when you backslide, right? There are times when you have to go back and start at square one. And there are times where you need the support of other people. There are times where you question everything that goes on. But let's go through these different types of categories of people that get involved in network marketing. So the posers, they treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They're going to hope to hit it big with as little effort as possible. And Eric goes on to say that he was a poser, that he wanted to be riding along somebody's coattails. It's kind of like you can manage this and you can kind of go along and you might be able to pull it off for a little while, but it's not going to last for the long term. Definitely isn't going to create that lifetime residual income that we're hoping to achieve while we're working hard here. So let's go on to the amateurs, right? And amateurs are going to focus on different things. And in this, we talk about luck, right? Eric says he was really hoping to get lucky and sign that monster distributor who's going to make him rich. Right. And so we all have those ideas and we've seen them. We've seen Cinderella stories where things happen by chance and by luck. We see when someone comes in and has no clue about the business, or we see somebody who knows somebody who has been in the industry or has that ability, has that, contact base already in place to be able to hit it hard and fast. And that's not the way we should be looking at this. We should be looking at this as continued efforts on a daily basis that are going to create strength over time. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? And so some of them can be true, but it doesn't help our profession very well because it's going to make people spend time hoping for a big hit rather than doing the right activity. So that's really what Eric Worre is trying to impress here. And the second thing that he focused on in this amateur category is timing. And how many times have you heard or even thought yourself, did I get in early enough? Could I be the youngest person in the company? How many other leaders are already there in my local market? Is it saturated? Are there too many to compete against? Is there enough to get true momentum? All these questions that go through people's heads. It's like, am I too early? Am I too late? You know, it's never about what they're going to be doing. He says to the point that he was obsessed. And that's a pretty intense way to think about it. And, you know, we as network marketers, we're entrepreneurs, we're different people. We're kind of exciting and energetic, and we want to make things happen in a big way. But for him to say that he was obsessed with all of this is quite interesting. The next thing that he focused on in an amateur status was positioning. So did other people have better, it's kind of like timing, but a little bit of a different aspect. Did people have a better position than I do? Maybe I don't have the right upline. So would I do some better somewhere else? Am I in the right company even? You know, so that's something that people start to question and ask. The fourth thing were shortcuts. Always looking for an angle, any gimmick that would come down the pike, right? He was up for it. Newspaper advertising. Okay. Help wanted signs by the side of the road. Let's go. Okay. You know, passing out flyers at the mall. I'm in. Going door to door. Let's try it. You know, it's interesting, all these different types of activities. The truth is, you need to be consistent, and whatever you're doing, you just need to keep it up and keep going. That's why our group of 65 and a wake up is so important, because we're creating those good habits. You don't want something to be like squirrel and all of a sudden you're distracted and there's something else and let me go and try that. And every time you're trying to reinvent yourself, you're trying to do something new and different where you're not going to be able to function well in any capacity. So he said, even back then when he got started, the internet didn't exist. And he said, Shirley is unmuted. Yeah. Thank you. And he said if that were the case, if the internet were there back then, that surely would have been a distraction. And so I want to kind of talk with all of you and think about what does it mean what does it mean when we become distracted? Can you guys come up with some ideas of what distractions can be? Like what have you experienced, or what do you know? What distractions can come up? Facebook.
I share something because, you know, just oh, sorry. Should I cut in or not?
No, please do.
No.
Please do.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are taking you off in another direction. And so you get distracted over here versus focusing on what activities you need to be doing in your business. Mm-hmm. Facebook is one. All right.
Yeah. Facebook is one. And Caitlin, that's great. Now, Facebook can be a very good resource. You can use it in a good way. And when we were in convention, there were different levels of coursework being taught to help people to understand about how it is. And I find that the less you talk about your business, you can show yourself as being successful and things that are happening and things that are going on. But the less you ask people about doing something for your business and the more you share value with them, the more response you're going to have. So, for example, right before the Hurricane Irma was here, I was able to put together a couple of projects for my mother and for our eldest son and daughter-in-law. And they were a pillow and a canvas from their wedding last year. And it took literally 5 minutes to do the canvas. I mean, not even 2 minutes. It was so quick and easy. Oh my goodness, that was great. And the pillow was a picture of my grandparents, my mother's parents, that I had spliced because there was a person in the middle, and it was really the greatest picture that we ever had of my grandparents. And my mother had it when we were staying at her house, and I found it, and I took it and copied the picture into Snap to Finish. So when it's called Snap to Finish, it really is a snap to finish. So I copied the picture twice, and I cropped the person out of one of the pictures. So my grandmother was alone in one shot, and then my pop-up was alone in the other. And then I put the two of them together on the pillow, and then I was able to submit it and have it shipped and sent out. It was the most adorable thing. So when we were staying at my mother-in-law's, I brought these two things and gave it as a gift to my mother, and she just hugged this pillow. She was so thrilled. Well, I posted those pictures on Facebook and said, look what I was able to do in just a matter of minutes. And boom, I was getting responses. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. That's adorable. I love it. And one of my girlfriends who I went to high school with, we were cheerleaders together in high school up in New Jersey. And she said, I love that. How did you do it? And I said, would you like me to tell you? And she goes, absolutely. I said, okay, give me your number. And I called her, and we went over it, and boom, she signed up. She's in. She came in as a preferred customer, and I walked her through how to go through Snap to Finish. And she said, this is great. I've got all these pictures going on from years and years of the family back in New Jersey. And I want to be able to have them in a place where we can put them together and create something special. And so that's just an example of how Facebook can be a positive force in your business. Now, as Caitlin said, it can be a very big distraction, right? So what would be a way to help yourself to not be distracted from Facebook? What are some of the things that you could do to create a better atmosphere for yourself? What do you think? What could you do? Perfect. Caitlin, you are a rock star today. Okay. Yes. You know what? Set a timer on how long you allow yourself to read friends' posts. It really can become a mire, right? You can get in there and get consumed by all the stuff, right? Yeah, Caitlin's smiling and laughing. It's true. You get in there and you start to get going into it. What's interesting about Facebook now is that they actually will provide the things that you view the most kind of in an upfront scenario, right? You'll see those things first. Your husband calls it falling down the rabbit hole. It is, because it becomes this never-ending trail that you get lost in, So it's like, Alice through the looking glass, and she's fallen down the hole, and here she is in this strange land of things that the unexpected, right? Because all of a sudden you get caught up in things that you think, oh my gosh, I didn't know about my friend's child, and this was going on, and then, oh, this is interesting, let me read this article. And then when you read that article, it pulls up a whole bunch of comments, and all this stuff keeps going on and on and on. So yes, I love that idea, Caitlin. Setting a timer is really important. It kind of goes along the ideas of creating this, treating it professionally. So you can use it as a good resource. You can also use it just to be a good connection with people. Just don't allow yourself to get caught. So I love that. One of the things that's very important for us as professionals is to create a space of time and location for when we're going to be doing things. And so for me, for 65 and a Wake Up, the best time for me to do my coffee shop interview preparations and my post is to do it first thing in the morning. I like to go in, I like to read what other people are doing, comment, and Tom always asks us to please comment at least to 3 people, because truthfully, doing that is not only paying it forward, but it is also helping to reinforce the good behavior in yourself. And it is also helping to help those people, paying it forward to them, but it also will help to give you those boosts, because we're all dealing with the same stuff, guys. You know, we may be in different places. We may have different lifestyles. We may have, you know, whatever. It's a matter of we're all going through the same difficulties and obstacles and successes. And we need to share those with each other. And sometimes you'll find out, like when Roxana Pausa and I were the two first to graduate from 65 and to Wake Up, and she and I supported each other because we would get on the phone and say, I'm having a really, really bad day, and I don't know how in the world I'm going to get through this. I don't want to have to go back to day one. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And we'd be like, it's okay. You got this. Who do you know? Let's go through what you have going on that we can get this together for you. And that's really important, because having those successes, those little successes on a daily basis, are going to lead to massive success in graduating, but then also to have that massive success as a network marketer and as a professional, right? Ah, she's here. Love you, Roxana. The support is huge. It is so important. Okay, so it was really funny because Eric goes on to say that anytime he heard of some shiny new approach to being trained by anyone in the world, I was digging into it and trying to find the shortcut. Did you know that sometimes you can spend too much time being trained? Okay, so there's a term that I have heard before about people being a professional student, right? And so there's a time where you need to be learning, and then there's a time where you need to be acting, right? And we'll talk a little bit later about network marketing is great because it's the non-discriminator. Anybody can do it regardless of your background, your educational ability. You can learn while you earn. But you need to start to think about, we're going to do professional and personal development. You're going to commit to doing things that will promote positive money-making activities. And you need to start to think about, is this worth my time, effort, and money? Because there's a lot out there, right? And Eric Worre is a really great person to follow because he's really kind of quick and easy, right? He gives us the information fast, we go through it, and then we kind of move it along. You know, Tom will even say, if you're worried about your timing, you need to stop and think about, what are the calls that you're on? Are you on too many training calls? If you don't have enough time in the day, then maybe you need to lessen the amount of calls that you're participating in, right? Because we want you to be successful. You need to be doing the things first. And so carve out, so that's kind of our little message for today. Make sure you have a calendar. Set out your time. Figure out the time of the things that you cannot change, whether it's working a regular job during this time, whether it's activities with your children, whether it's spending time having a date with your spouse, whether it's anything. And you can do it as really, say, this is the time I get up, this is the time I go to bed, this is what time we eat, all those things. And then you'll be surprised that you will find the time that you need in order to work your business effectively. So after all this, Eric says that he made the decision to go pro. And so what is a professional? A person who is paid to undertake a specialized set of tasks and to complete them for a fee. Okay, so if you're doing anything and getting paid for it, you're a professional, right? You're getting compensated for it, you're a professional. Eric Worre's definition of a network marketing professional is a person who's an expert at the skills required to build a large and successful network marketing organization. Okay, so we're going to learn through the book the skills that he suggests and recommends. Okay, so he says there's a phrase that does more harm than good. And I've heard this before. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. What that means is it's better to be excited and ignorant than it is to be apathetic and smart. And he's like, why do we have to choose? Okay, what's interesting is the example he gives is hysterical. Okay, so let's say you go to the hospital, right? And something is wrong and you're going to need to have a surgery, right? Okay. And the doctor says, guess what? I'm so happy. I can't wait to operate on you. This is going to be really great. I couldn't sleep. I'm really excited. I want to do this. And you say to the doctor, oh, you know what, I'm really glad that you're excited to help me out. What's your experience level? What's your, how long have you been doing this? Is this your specialty? And the doctor says, oh no, I've never, I've never been educated on how to handle an operation. I've never practiced. I've never done one before, but it doesn't matter. I'm really excited. And then you kind of go, I don't know. I don't think that's going to work so well, right? So enthusiasm is great, but eventually you need to marry the passion with the skill. Okay. Now, Malcolm Gladwell in his book Outlier says through his research, it takes 10,000 hours of practice to reach the expert level at anything. Okay. With 4 hours of practice a day, that's 7 years. Okay. So think about that. If you are dedicating seriously 4 hours a day, right, it's going to take you 7 years. To be a professional at something. It's going to take that time for you to be world class, to be top notch, to be top level, right? The good news is that our profession is very forgiving and you can earn a lot of money while you're becoming an expert. It's not like going to medical school and learning how to do that in that regard, right? It's very different. The trick is don't get complacent. Don't stop learning while you're earning, right? And he said that when he made the decision to go pro, everything changed because he stopped focusing on luck, timing, positioning, and shortcuts. And he stopped even focusing on the money. That's really hard, right? When you're trying to make ends meet and you want to see that success come through. But he said, my world changed when I started focusing on the skills and made the commitment to practice, practice, practice until I mastered them. Okay. So what also happened, he noticed, is that all of a sudden his group started to grow. It was like the people around him could sense the change of focus and commitment to excellence, and they wanted to be a part of it. I'm going to ask somebody to step out of their comfort zone, if I may, a special person on my team who's been working very hard and has had a lot of growth. Colleen, would you be willing to unmute yourself? Hi, sweetheart.
Hey.
I love Colleen. She is a very dear friend of mine and a part of my team. And Colleen has worked so hard at changing things in her life in all aspects. And I really believe that the focus she was able to commit to and finish through 65 and a wake up really created a change in her. Would you agree, Colleen?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your observation about yourself and your perception about yourself in this business.
I guess I look at people differently now. I used to want to reach out and help everybody, and so many people don't want that. So I had to learn to kind of help myself to better myself before I could really help anybody else.
That's beautiful. And that goes along lines with the old, when you're on an airplane and the stewardess is, telling you, but watching for the exits, and, the little thing comes down, and put it over yourself first and then administer to those that are around you, because you can't help others until you help yourself.
Exactly.
And what we also learned is that when we're learning about people's timing is different than our own. And so when you say people look at you differently, or you look at people differently, it's more about accepting them where they are instead of having the expectation. Now, I know personally that your expectation is out of tremendous love and desire to help. And so it becomes very frustrating when you're trying to help somebody and they don't want to be helped.
Yes. And when they constantly come back to me as a treadmill going, I want to ask you a question, but they're really not wanting the answers. And it gets frustrating after a while. But now I'm just like, when you're ready, I'm here. I actually have to help other people in the meantime. And I don't mean to be cold-hearted towards them. I just say it so they know I'm busy, but I'm willing to be there when they're ready to do what they got to do.
Yeah. Now tell me, how have people reacted to you differently in that time?
one girl hasn't spoken with me in like about a week now, but I noticed that she's liking every post that I've been posting about strength and doing what I'm doing. So I know she is watching me. I know that she's wanting, I know in the back of her head she's probably wanting to go for it, but a lot of her scared. But I'm hoping that by saying to her, when you're ready, contact me, that she'll want to jump off into the water instead of dipping her toe at the edge. So
Good. And what I have seen, Colleen, is that people are looking to you as the expert, like you said, but they're more respecting your position rather than trying to take advantage of you. And that's the difference. And so I hope that all of you can understand that it really is a matter of how you perceive yourself, how you carry yourself, and then therefore how people are going to perceive you. So thank you, Colleen. I know we didn't plan that, so thanks for jumping in. So, okay, so he said, all of a sudden my group started to grow. They could sense my change and my commitment to excellence, and they wanted to be a part of it. So think about a time in your life when you were around a person who was committed to excellence. And, it could have been a teacher, a coach, or a boss, or a friend, or a family member, right? And how did you feel, right? It was inspirational. You'll find that you'll be an inspiration to others when you make this shift. And that's what Colleen is experiencing now so beautifully. So bottom line, if you're going to be involved in this profession, do it right, okay? And treat it like a profession. Don't treat it like a genie in a bottle. It's called network marketing, right? Work. We have to work. It's going to take some time. It's not easy straight, but it is fun. We have a lot of people. Look at us from all walks of life, all around the country, all around the world. We get to spend time with people that we like, right? And I know that it's difficult when you work in a job that often you don't get to pick the people you work with. So if you stay a poser or an amateur, you're going to be miserable, right? So the only way you're going to be able to break out of that is if you truly treat this like a profession. He goes on to say that network marketing is more than just a project. It is an industry. It's a profession. If you do it right, it's truly a career choice. It can take you out of working in a job that doesn't make you happy to a place of total freedom. Jobs are tough because often you don't have control over the circumstances that you find yourself in. And that's a really tough place to be. Even if someone is still working in a job while they're here working network marketing part-time, a lot of times that can be that inspirational breath of fresh air that can help them get through, right? You get to have a chance. So even if you're working at a job and then you go, yeah, but you know what? It's going to be okay because I can go hang out with my friends and I can learn and I can grow and I can share something from my heart and I make a difference in the world and I can make a difference in my future because if I do things the right way, then maybe just maybe someday this can be my full-time financial path, right? And that's what we all hope for and dream, right? Okay, so what Eric Worre says, it's my favorite quote. He says he tells people every day, ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. And we do. God bless you, honey. And he said, I look forward to the day when it's common for people to hear, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a network marketing professional. I work in construction, but I'm also a network marketing professional. I'm an athlete, but I'm also a network marketing professional. And the more people hear those words, the more the world will be ready, bless you, for a better way. Okay, so now on to chapter 3. Like any profession, you'll need to learn some skills. And I'm laughing because all I can think of is my kids watching Napoleon Dynamite and how he had these bow hunting skills. And so I'm sorry for being silly, but you need to learn skills. You need to be a skilled person to be successful. So we hope you know by now that network marketing is a better way. And that if you're going to be involved, that the best way for you to be involved is to be a professional, right? So that's going to be the best way. And doing so, you're going to need to learn some skills. So before we get to the skills, he's going to share some good news with us. Unlike most professions, you're not going to need a lot of money for your education. This is where I want you to be very cautious, because there are good programs out there like Eric Worre's, really good, but there's a lot that are expensive that you need to pick and choose, decide what's going to be best. I trust Eric Worre. I've been a follower of his for many, many years. And I think almost since the time that I've been in network marketing that he has been doing this. It's been right about the same amount of time. And so it's really neat to watch his growth even in the training aspect and to see things and getting so excited to be able to learn more from him in the future, So you can actually learn while you're earning. So you can get out there and start to grow and build and start to create an organization as you learn to do better. This profession is not biased. In fact, it's the most equal opportunity on earth, because your background, your experience, your contacts, your age, your race, or your gender are not a factor in your ability to learn the skills to go pro. It's not complicated. The skills are necessary to grow a large and successful business, but they are extremely learnable, right? And you'll have a surprising number of people that are financially motivated to help you learn them, right? We've got a whole team of people working together. So there's 3 primary elements in your network marketing business, of course. All right, we've got the company's products. And the truth is, if some people are successful in marketing those products and you're not, it's not the product's fault, right? There's a lot of blame. We talked about this last week. There's a lot of blame that goes on in the industry. And so we need to start taking responsibility. We're big boys and girls. We're owners of our own business, and we need to take responsibility for our success or failure, right? Second, the company's compensation plan. If some people are making a lot of money and you're not, it isn't the compensation plan's fault, right? There's not one plan for one type of person or another. Different age groups, or men or women, or educational backgrounds, or the color of skin. The compensation plan is the same for everybody. The one thing that is different, the third element, is the most important, and that is you. Okay? You are the only variable. And that's where Tom Chenault talks with us all the time about being the very best you that you can be. Don't try to be Tom Chenault. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if we all were Tom Chenault? Marianne? Yeah. No. Love him. Okay? No, we don't need a bazillion Tom Chenaults, right? We need a bazillion of each of us as individual people, because we bring our own special gifts. We all have our ability to communicate with people on a different level, to express ourselves differently, to have certain knowledge base, and in longevity, the fact that we have all these verticals so that people can choose what aspect they'd like to do, or take a little bit of everything. People have talked to me about how I've got people that are talking about the snap to finish, and then we've got the nutritional aspect, and we've got the David Allen Capital Loans, all these different aspects that you can pull in together. That it's kind of like when you talk about the market, the stock market, you want to be diversified, right? That's what's great about the verticals, because we can be diversified in our ability to share. And that means we have something to offer more people, because different people are going to be drawn to different things. Okay? So you are going to be the difference between success and failure, right? And failure doesn't mean it's the end, right? The only failure that doesn't lead to success is the one that makes you stop. Okay? So that means keep going no matter what, because we're all going to mess up. We're all going to do something stupid. How many times have you talked to someone and go, oh my gosh, why did I say that? I should have said this, or I should have done that. It's okay. The truth is, you're trying to create this relationship. And that's where, when we had our Zoom on Tuesday night, oh my gosh, Kim Klaver was incredible. You know, she's just like a machine. But there's also a part that is about molding that relationship. That was a lot about contacting strangers, people you don't know, in a way to get them engaged. With 65 and a Wake Up, we talk a lot about the relationship building and about listening, 2 ears, 1 mouth, about talking to people and getting them excited about something that they care about, right? And then finding that pain, that sore, that scab that Tom talks about, and picking it, you know, helping them to be able to satisfy a need that hasn't been satisfied yet, right? And so eventually, when we become closer to them in the coffee shop interview relationship building, they're actually going to tell us. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to come to the point where they finally say, you know what, you've told me about something like this. Can you help me? And that was what was really fascinating for us when Roxanne and I were going through it in the very beginning, how all of a sudden we were finding people were coming to us and asking. So instead of us saying, oh my gosh, how am I going to talk to 2 people in a day and do 1 3-way, and I don't know how I'm going to get this done, all of a sudden we're tripping over ourselves. And so we're excited for Adrienne Chenault to come together with that app at some point. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, so you need to take full responsibility for your network marketing business. Decide today never to blame anyone or anything else for your lack of results. Is that, you ready? You're there? I can't hear you. Let me hear you. What are you saying? Unmute yourself, Miriam.
No, I just said I promise, because
you promise.
I think in my previous life, you know, now that I have the network marketing life, but in my previous life, it was easy to blame everybody else around us for our lack of success, for my lack of success. And when I started taking full responsibility for who I was, for me being the best me, then things just started falling into place. So I promise not to blame anyone else except for myself, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to hurt some days. Some days it's going to be hard.
A lot.
You know, but we are still in control of our destiny, because remember we talked about the fact that a lot of times when you're in a job, you have no control over what your outcome is going to be. You know, so it's a nice thing to have that personal choice in there. So it's a double-edged sword in a way. Yeah, you better know well that when things go wrong, it's your fault. But when things go right, it's your fault too, and that feels really good. So, you know what? And I've heard this many times. People blame their upline. You know, they're the people who brought them into the business, instead of being thankful. Yes, make good choices. Instead of being thankful for what they've been given an opportunity to do. And I do that. Mike Battistelli is the one who brought me in. And I thank him every time. I appreciate him every day for what he's done. And he has been a fabulous upline for me and friend and support over all these years. I'm very blessed. But, you know, you can't blame the people. And the people will say, if my upline only did this for me or did that for me, everything's going to be better. Well, grow up. Put on your big boy and big girl panties, and it's time to get to work, right? It's not somebody else's job. And he even goes so far as to say, which is really kind of a scary thing to me, because again, I want to love them and appreciate them. He says, say goodbye to your upline. Say goodbye. Call them and say something like, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Getting into business for myself was important. And I appreciate your introducing me to a company that you believed in and that I believe in now as well. But from now on, when it comes to building my business, I will use you as a resource, but never an excuse. I may call on you from time to time. If you're available, that's great. If you're not, that's okay too. I'm going to build my business, and I understand one thing. It begins and ends with me. Wow. You know, to me, that's really, really powerful. you have to remember that your upline, they have this freedom too. They're not your boss. They are not responsible for everything you do. You may have a mentor, you may have an upline. Everybody's got their own stuff and they've got their own lives to do, and they chose this profession so they wouldn't have to be tied to something else, right? And so we kind of have to be respectful of the fact that they aren't responsible for you. They are not responsible for your success. People will do it with or without you. Those are the people that take the bull by the horn and run with it. Right. You got to go for it. It's going to happen if you make it happen. And I've been guilty of it too, where I'm waited for something to come about, and that's not the way that you need to be. If you really want to be successful, you just have to go for it. And you go for it because you're going for it. And don't feel bad. What's really wild is don't feel bad if you're more successful than somebody else who may have gotten you into it. You may have gotten into it with somebody who is not a real proficient network marketer. And so you may be in a position that you're the enrollee and they were the enroller, but you are striving and working. See, yeah, you passed. Marianne passed your upline. You have this ability. And that's what's really cool. That's why network marketing is not a pyramid. That's why corporate America is a pyramid. Because in corporate America, that's the true form of a pyramid, where you are not going to be able to get better than the person above you ever. You might be able to promote into a new position, but you're the bottom of the pyramid, right? And you're the person doing the majority of the effort and work in the business, right? Then the step above might be a supervisor, and a step above might be a manager, and a step above might be a vice president, and on and going up until you get to the CEO. And those people at the bottom never will ever make as much or more than the CEO. I don't care what type of a corporate entity it is, never. But in network marketing, it doesn't matter where you come. All of your success is based upon your efforts. Boom. Bottom line, end of story. That's it. Okay. That's scary, but it's powerful. And so don't be afraid that you feel like you're going to be surpassing somebody. And you know what might happen? If somebody sees you performing at that level, that might be your upline or might be a part of your team, and they say, or a cross-line member, right? Someone who doesn't even benefit from, you don't benefit from the income-wise or whatever, but you're still helping each other. You can say, hey, listen, how'd you do that? How did you earn the TAC trip? How did you get to go to GoPro? How did you get a team challenge win? How did you, and all these things that can happen. How did you get to be 1 star? I really want to be 1 star, but I'm not. I understand. I read the compensation plan. I've got it next to me. I look at it every day. How'd you really do it? How? I don't know. I need some help. Okay. And that's okay. So if they see you doing it, then they're going to do it. It's contagious. It's a contagious good thing, right? Okay. So everything will change. I missed what Pat said. Let me go back and see. Hope I passed my upline because he is a million. Hey, no kidding. Me too. I hope you get there too, Pat. That's awesome. So everything changes when you take full responsibility for your network marketing career. And there are 7 fundamental skills necessary to build a huge business in network marketing. That's not a lot. 7 is not a whole lot. It could be 70. The truth is, it is basic, but it is amazing how little effort people put into learning them. They're here. They're going to be something we will go over. It's not rocket science, but you'll be happy to know it's one of the highest paid skill sets in the world. And so we're going to end the book study right now, but I wanted to open it up for questions. If there's anything that you guys have about either the last week's chapters, the reading, this week. Next week, we'll get started in chapter 4, skill set number 1, finding prospects. Okay. There's always ways to find prospects. So guys and gals, what do we have going on? More questions. Let me go scroll back up here. I did see, I think Laney said she only has 2 more years to reach her 7. Is that what you said, Laney? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We can only just barely see the top of your head, Lainey.
I know. Let us see your pretty face. I want to see that smile. I want to feel that hug. All those wonderful hugs from convention. Look at her. She's rocking it.
I'm Tom Chenault with his hair.
Crazy hair.
Oh, Laney, I love
I
you.
was just looking at one of the videos I did a while back, and I remember my hair it was like really weird, and I kind of went like this, and I just had this like bowl of hair. I saw it up there, and I started laughing. But hey, we all have hair days, right?
Goodness.
Yes, 2 more years until I have 7 in,
2
and
more
so
years.
I'm headed for a professional network marketer.
Yes.
See?
You.
Well, wait, you'll be professional. We're talking about hitting it big in 7 years. I'm talking
That's
you'll be
what I mean.
professional. Because where are you now, Laney, in your days?
Today is 28.
Yes.
Woo!
Nice work.
Yes.
Nice work. Okay,
It's
so
exciting.
it is exciting. And do you feel that you've grown through the process?
Oh, yes. Because before I was just doing all of it in one day.
Yeah.
Just save it up and do it all one day.
Like a
But
burst.
when you do it every day, you can get other things done.
That's true. And I've done that too, where you try to do it in bursts, and
Yes.
you'll be like on fire,
Right.
and then all of a sudden you're like the fire's burnt out, you're exhausted, right?
Mhm.
And then you get caught up, like, right? And I know Cindy's shaking her head, nodding her head yes, and I'm gonna I know she's tired, but I'm gonna ask her to come out and unmute for a second. Yes, ma'am. And because I find it interesting, right, that you have found a way, and I know Lanny taught you about how to promote David Allen Capital agents to join. And so this is like Cindy's biggest exciting thing, but it's also her worst nightmare. Yeah, she wants to just cover herself. Right? And so it's tough when you get those bursts, when things happen all at once. It's kind of scary, but it's a good place to be, because now what's beautiful is you get to pick and choose, right? You kind of can go through and you'll become more adept at filtering through the 30-some, look at you yawning, poor baby, filtering through those people, right?
7 to 7 is murder.
How much? What is it?
7.
Oh, the hours?
Yeah, it's fun, but it's still, I have to be up early, and now I'm cold. It's been raining, and so. But I did get one. I think I got one today. So,
One agent?
Awesome.
One agent? And
One
you're
agent.
training in the process.
I
God
think I
bless
got
you.
one. I think I got one agent today, and my my woman that I got by accident for the loan went through today, so she got her money today.
Praise God,
Yes.
really?
Yes. She
That's
did.
good news.
Yeah,
That
she was
is good
stressing
news.
because it closed. They did it after 3 yesterday, so she was in panic mode because the money wasn't there yet, and it wasn't there yet, and it wasn't there yet, and so.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, you know what? That's congratulations are in order, because I know that you've
Mhm.
stressed, and to see that come to fruition is a really big deal. And so
I
that
stress.
means,
I don't.
yeah. And then,
stress. I just get really tired. I don't stress. Hell.
so wait. Let me ask you this. So, okay, does anybody know how David Allen works? David Allen Capital works is that when the loan goes through on what day?
It was
What
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So you're going to get
Wednesday.
paid tomorrow?
No, because
Next week.
I haven't got an email from
Next week.
Oh, okay. So it'll be next Friday. Okay. Because
Mhm.
the way the David Allen Capital loans work, if you don't know about it, that once they funded the loan commission is paid the the following Friday. So awesome. Well, congratulations on that.
Well, thank
Okay.
you. How long
All
does
right.
it take to get an email? Because I was having issues with my email. So I haven't got an email.
I don't know. I know that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Just
You
be
might have to
patient.
be patient. Check your spam folder.
I don't want to.
So who else? Who else has a question, a concern? Let's see. A prospector did not find a gold nugget under every rock he flipped. That's interviewing. Oh, I love that.
That's good.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, you know what? It's so true. You're not going to find it, but the more stones you turn over, the better likelihood you have of finding gold, right? Yeah. Good. Okay. Who else? Who else has got something else? We have another couple of minutes, and then we all get to go home and put our jammies on.
I just got somebody else that wants to
Nancy, unmute yourself so I can hear you, honey. Marianne, there she is.
Thank you for the book. I got it.
Oh, yay. Good job. So does that mean was that because you reached your day 30, or because last week there was a whole bunch of generosity from Tom and Marianne?
It was a whole bunch of generosity.
All right. So are you in Facebook and 65 and a Wake Up yet?
I'm a stalker.
Oh, good. You're an observer. You're observing. My husband is a trained observer in his job. So, yeah. So, okay. So you're an observer, but eventually you're going to stick your toe in, right?
I am. But I have a question. I don't know if this is the right place to ask it or not.
Yes.
Of course.
I have a concern with the 66 days because on Sundays, I try to put my whole business aside on Sunday.
Okay, great question. This question has come up before. And honestly, the way that I can tell you is that I believe that the work that I do is a gift from God, and I'm helping others. And so when I'm doing the Lord's work, I'm helping other people. When I'm talking about, so if you maybe don't focus on the business side of it, focus on the nutritional side of it for helping people with health issues and concerns and focusing that way. But I actually have a lot of people from my church that on Sundays when I see them, think of it as, or use Sunday as a day where you are interviewing people. When we say coffee shop interview, you're getting to know someone on a deeper level. So use Sundays to just get to know two people from your church more deeply. Love on them more deeply. Okay? So
I understand that, and I don't have a problem with that. I guess it's, more because I love to talk. But, and talk with people and find out about people. And I mean, that the health side of it is my passion.
Mm-hmm.
So my ears are always keyed for that kind of observation.
Perfect.
So, but I guess what I'm saying is okay, well, another question. On the three-way call or whatever, I've kind of, from watching the Facebook page, it appears as though everybody's not necessarily making a three-way call.
Exactly.
Okay, so explain that part of it, because that's what I got. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So if the way that the three-way works is if it is a product person, which is primarily those people that you're talking to that have a health issue and you just want to help them out that way, you can give them a referral to do the health evaluation form. You can share a pollen burst pack with them. You can, I'm getting a little reverb. I don't know what that is. You can, give them some information about Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Something along those lines. Whereas a three-way call with an upline, crossline, someone who's going to be a business expert, that's reserved for someone typically who is coming in as a business builder. Now, you can do a three-way call with someone about a health product. And because I'm a healthcare practitioner, I've done a lot of those with people over the course of time because I have an understanding about things and a level of medical expertise that other people don't have. So I can talk with people on a different level. So that's something that you can, employ as well. But yes, the three-way, so you could reserve Sunday three-ways to just product information and guiding someone if they say, you know what, I wonder if there might be something that your body is missing. You could take a health evaluation form or health evaluation survey and fill it out, and you might be able to find out that there's something that you need that you're not getting. Would you mind, doing that? It'll take about 5 or 10 minutes. And so you send them the link. Do you have the health evaluation system yourself, Nancy? You do? Okay. You're muted again. I can't hear you. There we go.
Through the GoDaddy thing with Paul and Cheryl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, so I mean, that's the best thing you can do is just listen and love on people. And, if you're trying to, honor your ideology of what you should or shouldn't be doing. And, if you perceive it to be a sin, then it is, right? Right. Kind of a thing. You have to really understand that there are some things that you would be doing that, it in the New Testament, it talks about food. If you believe that eating certain foods is a sin, then it is, and you shouldn't eat those foods, right? Even though from the time of the Old Testament to now, you don't necessarily have to worry about the food restrictions that the Jews had to deal with. Okay. So there's a sense of it there where you have to kind of, come to an agreement or an understanding within your own faith system, within your own heart, with what your interaction with God is, and work with it that way. Does that help?
Yes. Thank you. And I have another question because I've had these questions from watching it. So I talked
Sure.
about where or is there a place or an app or, for the three-way call? I came in through Nature's Pearl, and we had an app where we could actually put in like our upline or those that we wanted to bring, those that were willing to be available for three-way calls. We had their number there, and if we had the opportunity for a three-way call, we could push their name, and it would notify them and say, so-and-so is ready for a three-way call. Are you available?
Oh, cool.
And, so that way we had a list in our phone on that app so that we had several choices. So I'm a little, I guess I got used to that. And so it's like, where do I go? Because I don't know all of you people. How do we get names of people that are available, and how do we know that they're available when we need them for a three-way call?
That's great. And sorry, can you mute again? There we go. Thank you. We've all posted our numbers at some point. I don't know, Marianne, if we have a place where it would be more convenient for us to have that available for people. I like that idea. I think that that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that Nature's Pearl had done that. But, it might be something to do where we could have it available to say, I'll have the number there and let me text them and say, are you available? The one thing you need to keep in mind is that in order for us to do this properly, you need to provide us with the coffee shop interview completed forms so that we know when we're talking with these people, we have a better understanding of what makes them tick and how we are going to best proceed and focus in the conversation so that we can be most effective for you. So what we've done up until this point is we've kind of reached out and paired up with people within 65 and a wake up, and we kind of, based upon their particular level of expertise or the fact that we connect with them on a personal level and just kind of reach out, and say, hey, you know what, I need some help with this. But get started. In the beginning, you don't have to worry so much about the three-way call. It's more about the activity. It's more about doing those 2 coffee shop interviews a day. And in the beginning, we're forgiving about that three-way call concept. If you have that health evaluation form, that's a great way to do it. But when you're first starting to talk to people, you need to be listening more to what their needs are rather than talking or sharing more. So it's kind of it's gentler in the beginning than it is when we get later on and we really want to see more in-depth interaction. Yes, ma'am. Marianne. Can't hear you.
You know what, Cindy, or Nancy, I'm sorry, Nancy, how long were you with Nature's Pearl before we?
Since 2012.
Okay, so for a couple of years. And how comfortable were you doing a three-way call prior to this? I mean, did you get the concept of the call? I mean, it sounds like you guys had this app, and so people knew that three ways were important.
Well, it was trained. It was just part of our Nature's Pearl app. Just like YGY has an app, it was just one part of the app.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with, I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't real good at it as far as using it frequently, but it was great to have that accessibility and have a list of names for when you did need it.
Right.
And
now,
then you could
did your upline come across with you, or are they still active, or are you just kind of hanging out?
No, we're all still there.
Okay, good. And so what we've done in the past is earlier on we all did little videos kind of telling our story. But what I would encourage you to do is understand how to do the interview and interview your upline, the people that are above you, and get to know who they are and what kind of arrows they have in their quiver, right? For, speaking with business people or what have you. And then obviously being part of the 65 and a wake up, any one of us that's in there, we have already committed to be willing to do a three-way call. And many of us have posted our, numbers on there. So, feel free to contact Pamela or me or Lanny or, whomever and say, hey, I want to interview you, right? Because you could use that as an interview and get to know us so that you know what you have available. Does that make sense?
Yes. And, I guess it's because I'm newer to the group and newer to the whole concept, so I'm just,
I got to tell you, sister, you're in longevity.
I know. And I'm still passionate about Nature's Pearl, but I love longevity. Yeah.
Well, and love it, love Nature's Pearl, obviously. I mean, and we just love that you guys are here. We love what you've brought, and we love all the people. And so we're excited that you're here. So just know that about us. I mean, pretty much everybody you meet is going to be excited that you guys are, that you personally even are a part of this. Whoops.
Yes, Nature's Pearl is absolutely amazing. Love it.
We love it. So
I love the products and the people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't be shy. Reach out.
Nancy, I want to say something to you because I know exactly where you're coming from with that, because I was in a company where they had this big sheet, and when you got in the business, you had all these people with all these different testimonies that you could call on and ask them about it and do a three-way with them with somebody that had the same situation. So I know that's a really awesome thing to have if it's done in the right way. So yeah, that was probably a wonderful thing to have for you. And sometimes when you go somewhere else, it's gone and you're like, uh-oh, now what do I do?
Well,
so I know.
Are those people still around? I mean, for you, it's a little different, Lanny.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
For me, those people, that's a different company, and it was way before. It was like early in 2000 when I did that.
Yeah.
So no, haven't been with them for a while.
So is there a place on like the 65 days in a wake up, like in the files or something where anybody's number and expertise can be accessed or anything like that in the files or anything?
There's not, but that's a great idea. Let's work on that.
I mean, because then it wouldn't necessarily be front facing where everybody can just, but yet we could look for it.
Right. And we can put our phone numbers on there. And what do you guys think about that?
I like that idea.
Well, make sure you put the time zone, because that'll be another issue.
Right.
And what the
So we're not calling somebody at midnight or something.
I've done that.
Cindy, what are you saying, honey?
And you might put what their strengths are. I suck at three-way calls. Please do not call me for a three-way call, but I can help you, with some technical stuff. So you might put what people are, really strong at and really good at. So you don't want to get somebody that sucks at a three-way and you're getting a three-way call and you're going, oh crap, now what?
That's an excellent point. Yeah. And you know what, though? There's the other thing to think about, which is kind of coming back to what Eric Worre's talking about, is that we can't expect everything to be perfect. We have to just, jump on in there. And so, Nancy, you're being an observer, but like what Marianne said, interview us. Get started so that you're in the process. And yeah, I'm excited for Adrienne Chenault to complete this contact mapping app. But does that mean that I'm going to not do my contacts and I'm not going to, create a good system for follow-up and be able to go through that? No, of course not, So it's what Mike Battistelli would always say to me is grow where you're planted. So, just be able to be flexible and use what you have at hand. And, it's never going to be a perfect situation, but, there are great ideas. And I think, we do well when we come together and share them like you just did, because, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like that idea of an app. But the unfortunate thing, we benefit from having all of you and the wonderful Nature's Pearl products. But the truth is the Nature's Pearl business didn't work. And so even though they had some neat bells and whistles, now we're kind of coming in. And so this is where these many, many great brains and great thoughts come together to make longevity even better and stronger. So thank you for sharing that. I like that idea.
Well, I want to thank you all. And I don't want anybody to think that I was finding fault, because I was not.
No.
I'm just trying to figure out how to integrate, because I love what I'm seeing, but there's a fear, of taking the next step kind of thing, but I need to take the next step. And I'm just trying to figure out how to put some of those hurdles behind me.
Well, let's talk about that, because that's really important. What is your fear?
Vulnerability of accountability.
Okay, so how are you becoming vulnerable, and the accountability to whom?
Well, I mean, I'm referring to the 65-day and a wake up, so I've taken a big step. I've joined, I'm in the Rev 90 challenge. So that's, another accountability group, so I'm taking these steps and putting myself out there. And, I've joined the 65 but right now I'm a observer. But I was practicing, but like my husband and I were out doing business this week, and I found myself practicing with the salespeople. I was like, oh, here's me an opportunity to practice, even though I didn't post anything. But but I got a number. So it was kind of cool, because I was trying to practice the CSIs.
You actually got their contact information.
I did. It's in my phone.
Oh, girlfriend, you need to be posting this up, because you deserve the credit. It's a big deal. That's a really big deal, sweetheart, to be able to have the courage to step out and ask somebody for the contact information from a stranger. Pat is really excited. She's been doing some great posts, and we haven't even touched on what she's talked about, but she's being very encouraging. And I agree with her that, you deserve that. And don't be afraid. I mean, we're here to love and support each other. So I don't want you to ever feel afraid from us.
It's not afraid of you guys at all. It's just afraid. it's just overcoming my own inhibitions. I don't know. I mean, it's just stepping, and I don't know why. I mean, I was a school teacher, and it's like, I don't know why I have this new fear.
Sorry, Pat. I'm sorry, Pat. Pat is a guy. He cleared me up. I apologize. But so you were a teacher. You're not afraid of being in front of people.
I'm not, and that's where it's the whole thing. It's like, I don't understand this wall, but I guess it's, I don't know, the enemy doesn't want me to move forward. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? The enemy puts a lot of stuff in your head, and brings up things from your past, and that's where Tom talks about punching that little guy on your shoulder in the nose and tell him no, that those lies are not true, and you can go forward and be successful in spite of the fact that this guy is telling you all these lies.
Amen.
Okay, so anything else? We're past our time.
Yep, I think we're about done. Anybody have anything pressing? Otherwise, we'll be back next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and jump off the dock. Pat has told us, yes, he is telling us that the water is fine, and
Yep.
it really is. It's
Great.
It's fun. It's hard work, and it's challenging, but it is definitely worth it. Makes a difference.
Question.
Love all you guys. Next week we will cover
What?
skill 1. Go to bed.
What?
I have a question.
Oh,
You're
what's
being-
your question?
Um,
I thought you're waving goodbye.
no, I've got a question.
What's
These
up,
are being
honey?
recorded. Where are they being posted to? Are they being posted on Masters of Enrollment? Okay.
On the website, and I'll
Okay.
put some links. I'll put links up into the 65 and Wake Up as well.
Okay, I won't be on next week. I'll be heading to Houston.
Oh, all
Maybe
right.
lashes with a wet noodle.
Promises, promises.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going.
All right.
Love
Love you guys.
Love you
Have a
all.
good night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Good night.
Good night.